Hello. Right, welcome to the sight element of the senses. Sight, as you're probably aware of, is one of the sorry, it rolled off there. Sight is one of the most dominant of the senses. We take in a lot through sight. Yet when we look in an active sense, we may see things that we have missed for years. There is so much to notice in the natural world. By practicing a greater awareness to this sense, we become more open and attentive to the world around us. It's one of our most important senses, I think. It can really help us on our journey to take greater notice of things that are around us. It can also help with mindfulness. It can bring us back into the present moment, and that of appreciation and joy. As I was having a look at this the other day, I looked out my window and this beautiful pink sunrise. It was really lovely. Beautiful blues and the blue of the sky plus the pink sunrise. It was really lovely, and I turned away to get back on with what I was doing, my work here. And then when I looked again at it, the pinkness had disappeared and we had deeper blue because it was getting on towards night time. But anyway, I'm just saying it was such a beautiful experience, and sometimes that's when I'm often saying in these videos that if you just stop, take time and have a look at what is around you, then we notice things, because if I hadn't looked up, I wouldn't have seen that glorious sunset. So when we look at young children, we can often learn a lot from children. Young children seem naturally to be living more in the present moment, and this might be because experiences are new to them, so they want to get the value of the moment. Everything is fresh and exciting to them. Often before they become battered by life, we sometimes lose that sense of excitement, that sense of wonder. So trying to see it as if we are looking through the eyes of a child might be helpful for this practice. Trying to let go of some of our knowing. I've got this on my knee today, just for a change. So when I go like this, I'm trying to do the quotation marks. Trying to let go of some of our knowing, as if we are seeing things for the first time, because we kind of gather information as we get older and as we progress through life, and we think we know about this, that and the other, and sometimes that takes away that sense of kind of loveliness and taking notice and appreciating. So it is quite helpful to look at children and see how they are and how they react to things. And sometimes, even if, I know this is about sight, but even if you close your eyes and then appreciate what you've got, what is positive in your life, and obviously open your eyes because we're talking about sight. noticing things in your house as well, like your ornaments and your objects and your photographs, and also your colour scheme, to take appreciation from that as well. So that's a little bit about sight. And I think it's very true for sight, but I think it's also true for the other senses as well. That the more aware we are, the more aware we allow ourselves to become, the more enriched our lives become. They take on a more richer quality. Right, so I don't know how this is going to work, but when I've done this in the class, the course that I did at the Recovery College, I asked people to bring in things which reminded them of sight and that, of things that helped them. So I'm going to hold this up now. It's a card. It's a card I got for my birthday, but it's a lovely picture of the sea and the rock and the sand. So I don't know if you can see that. You might be able to. To me, that's a lovely scene, and I often go down to the sea when I've got a spare moment. Even in the winter, you'll find me there. And I just walk along, and to me that's a good image of how it is, especially along at the cat and dog steps. I can imagine that. The sea is very much like that down there, and yeah, that's a nice reminder. So I look at that picture, and it reminds me of when I'm down at the sea, and there's like birds as well around, and that can be part of the experience. That can be part of the experience too. So another thing I've brought is a picture of like a forest, or it's a very greenery. What I like about it is that path. I love it when paths sort of finish in the distance, and you don't know quite what's going to be beyond that path. You wonder what would happen if you actually walk down there and see what happens. So it's a good tool for imagination. But I also like all the greenery because I love trees. And green is my favourite colour as well, so that's nice to be around like meadowy type things. So yeah, you could have a look for things in your own house which evoke memory as well, because I think that's part of it with me when I look at those. And I see the sea, which reminds me of when I'm down by my sea, and then when you've been walking along forests or where there's trees and woods, and it evokes a memory. So maybe you could find things that you have, like a card or an object or an ornament or something that reminds you of something which makes you feel happy. And also it's to do with sight, because that is like our enjoyment, and we get a lot of enjoyment through seeing things. So I'm just gonna now read a few nature quotes. It's under the heading of "Do not miss your appointment with life," which I think is a lovely quote. Do not miss your appointment with life. Take notice. And it's also, you could call it also finding enjoyment in life. like with all the senses, you can find contentment. So they're not actually quotations, they're actually questions for you to think about. What is life to you? What does life mean to you? To me, really living life is finding quality relationships, quality things to invest our time in. So what matters most in your life? Take the time to discover. We could all learn from that. So, appointment with life. We can learn a lot from nature, from seeing, from nature, from children, like I've just mentioned earlier, from pets. Pets can be a loving relationship. And then with these things, we find contentment. So another quote I like is, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Just takes its time, and then things still work out the way they're meant to be. So also in this section, which is a lot to do with being able to use all our senses for the good, is take time out for you and do what makes you happy. I mean, obviously we have to consider other people as well. We've got to be respectful and mindful of other people too, but also just have that time for yourself to do what makes you happy. I think I've wandered off a little bit from the site, but I think it all comes back to being able to see, being able to appreciate, being able to enjoy, and finding that in a valuable and mindful way. Right, so that's the end of the sight section, and I'll see you soon for the sound, which might be a little bit different. Okay, thanks now. Bye-bye. Bye.